So I recorded a video in November of 2020, and the topic was how to practice public speaking at home. Well, that video now has 60,000 views and counting, and it seems to really have struck a chord with you. So the 3 tips that I offered during that video, which was 1, record yourself daily. Everyone has an iPhone right now. You have the ability to record 1 minute of your thoughts every single day into that device. Number 2 is to re-watch that video, once with the sound up, once with the sound down. You're gonna pick up on so much around your body language and where you're getting tripped up. And then number 3 was to check out some of the great TED Talks and commencement speeches by some of my favorite authors and titans of business. And I actually provided that in that video. Today though, I got another inbound message where someone asked me, how do I get over my lack of confidence and my fear? And so I wanted to do a follow-up video to that video on how to practice public speaking from home. All right, so tip number 1 is in your preparation. What is the one thing that your friends, your family, your colleagues are always asking you about? Where are they coming to you for advice? What is that topic? Or what is something that you can do in your sleep? It comes so second nature to you that you could do it and not even bat an eyelash. Or what is something that you could talk about for hours? Organize and prepare the topic that you're going to talk about for anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes. Number 2 is to organize your talk. And this is a formula that I provide to my students whenever I'm teaching a public speaking masterclass. Number 1, think about the message that you want to leave your audience with. In other words, if dinosaurs were destroying the earth and you had an opportunity to provide one message in the matter of 3 minutes, what would that message be? Then reverse engineer from there. What is one personal story that you can harvest from your life or your career that supports that message? And then this is the most important part, because this is the gift for your audience, is what did you learn as a result of going through that experience? Now, this is why this is important. Number 1, it's a lived experience that's always going to be so much more tellable, easier on you, more memorable for the audience when you actually engage in this brand of storytelling. Number 2 is, why would you make it any harder for yourself? When you can tell a deeply personal story that's unique to you, you don't ever have to worry that, what am I going to say that somebody else already hasn't said? Really organize it in this way. Message, story, what did you learn from it? And by the way, what you learn from it is the gift for your audience, because if you just left it at the story, that becomes a Dear Diary entry. But when you share what you learned, that creates a moment for your audience to be able to take some advice and go away and activate around it, maybe even as soon as tomorrow. Number 3, and this is really hard for a lot of my students, which is get vulnerable. If people can see not a perfect version of you, but a version of you that allows them to see themselves in your story, of you failing, of you not being perfect, that is going to be so much more powerful. So how can you try and find a story that not others necessarily want you to tell, but how can you find the story that's within? How can you tell the story that you really want to tell but you've been holding back on? I guarantee this is going to be a way to bring the room to their knees. Number 4 is to make bullet points. I'm telling you, I've been on television for 20 plus years. Even right now, as I am writing and recording this video for you, I have bullet points that are sitting right at eye level so that I can be triggered and remember what the next point is. Now remember, this can't be an essay, right? Because then that's not the point. The point is to have a key word that's going to trigger your next thought so you can keep the flow going. Always have bullet points right at eye level so that you can keep yourself on track. Number 5 is to practice. This brings me back to my first video. You got to practice. So whether it's recording every single day for the next 30 days, your 2 to 3 minute talk into your iPhone and watching it back, you're never going to be able to do yourself a better favor than that. However, if it's the lack of confidence and the fear that is holding you back, can you go to a book talk at your local bookstore, raise your hand and ask a question? The next time you're standing in one of those amazingly long lines at Trader Joe's, can you start up a conversation with the person in front of you or behind you? How can you start to really practice speaking up and engaging people in a clear and articulate way? Number 6 is to make sure you pause. So many people are uncomfortable with silence, but I'm telling you that silence is going to be your best friend. If you lose your train of thought, all you have to say is, I need a minute to gather my thoughts and look at my notes. Your audience is rooting for you. They want you to succeed. So it's okay to pause, especially if someone's laughing at a certain point or they're reacting to a certain point. Allow those moments to really land. And if you're losing your way, also be human. Number 7, so many people forget this. If you're so self-conscious, that ends up being a distraction. So how can you do a paradigm shift? How can you switch your focus from, oh my God, what are people going to be thinking of me? They're all going to be looking at me, and switch it to, I am here to be in service of this audience. I have something really important to share, and I'm going to teach you. That paradigm shift is going to be so incredible when you become in service of your audience. So this is the bonus question for those of you that are more advanced and wondering how you can use AI to leverage a talk that you already have out in the ether. For example, I have a TED Talk that I did back in November 2013, but I'm thinking about always innovative ways that I can engage that next generation of audience. So number 1 is that I could actually bolt on a virtual assistant, AI powered, that can take questions and send those either via text or something else to me so that I can answer them and engage with them. Some tools that can help with this is maybe your CRM system like HubSpot or MailChimp or Lead Pages or ActiveCampaign, whatever you use to be able to get them into your nurture chain. But the top of the funnel is your talk. The next stop is the AI assistant. Number 2, can you use a quiz or a poll to see how your audience has received the information and have they ingested it? So there's 2 tools that you can use for that. You can use Mentimeter or you can use Poll Everywhere. Again, it's a bolt-on for your piece of audio or video that's already out there. What if you actually want to spark a discussion around the topic that you've talked about in your TED Talk or any other keynote? Well, use something called Discourse in order to be able to have an AI-generated platform for discussion about the topic that you have teed up in your video. Hey, I hope this was all helpful for you. I am currently filling and interviewing candidates for the 2024 class of my Mastermind, where I am taking you through a year of mindset work and personal brand building. And then we're going to harvest something from that personal brand, fashion it into an 11-minute talk, and put you on a stage to be able to deliver that in front of your friends, your CEO, your family. It's a TEDx style talk, and you're going to film it professionally so you create a very key digital asset that you get to take away with you and do all those wonderful AI-powered things that I talked about at the end of this video. If you would like to be a part of that, you can DM me at joya@joyadas.com. Hit the bell notification and follow me.